Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into one of the hottest credentials in the AI world right now, NVIDIA's professional certification for Agentic AI. We're going to break down what it is, who it's for, and exactly how you can get yourself ready to ace it.
Okay, so before we even touch the certification, we've got to understand the tech behind it. Agentic AI, this is a huge leap past your standard chatbot. We're not talking about a system that just gives you one-off answers. We're talking about a system that can actually think through a problem, create a multi-step plan, and then go out and execute that plan, all on its own.
And it does this using a really cool 4-step loop that just runs continuously. First, it perceives what's going on by gathering data. Then it uses a large language model as its brain, essentially, to reason and come up with a plan. After that, it acts on the plan, using different tools to get the job done. And then, and this is the magic part, it learns from what happened, feeding that back into the loop so it gets smarter and better every single time.
Now, this kind of capability is already a game changer across industries, from custom tailoring customer service to automating huge chunks of software development. So that brings up a really important question for all of us in the field. As these systems get more and more common, how do you actually prove that you have the skills to build them? And that right there is where NVIDIA's new certification steps in. The NCP AAI is an intermediate-level credential, and its whole purpose is to validate that you can architect, develop, and deploy these advanced AI solutions. It's basically a formal stamp of approval that says, yeah, I know how to do this. All right, so you're interested. What does it actually take to get this certification? Let's get into the nitty-gritty details you need to know.
Let's break down the basics. The exam's going to run you $200. It's a 90-minute test, remotely proctored, with somewhere between 60 and 70 questions. But honestly, the most important detail on this slide is the prerequisite. This is not for beginners. They're aiming this squarely at professionals who have at least 1 to 2 years of real, hands-on experience building production-level AI. And you can see exactly who they have in mind when you look at this list. If you're a software developer, a solutions architect, an ML engineer, a data scientist, or an AI strategist, this certification was literally made for you. It's designed to formalize the skills you're probably already using and give you that extra edge in your career. Now, look, to pass any exam, you can't just know the subject, right? You have to know what the exam cares about. Understanding the blueprint is absolutely key to spending your study time wisely. This chart gives us a fantastic bird's-eye view. You can see right away there are some heavy hitters. Agent architecture and agent development are tied for the lead, with evaluation and deployment not far behind. And while that other topic slice looks big, it's spread across a bunch of smaller areas. The real meat is in those core domains. So, knowing that, let's zero in on the most critical parts. If you've got limited time to study, this is where you need to live and breathe. The exam is heavily, and I mean heavily, weighted towards practical, foundational skills. You've got agent architecture and design at 15%, agent development at another 15%, and then if you combine evaluation, tune-in, and deployment, that's another 26%. Do the math. That's over half the entire exam right there. This is where you focus your energy, period. Okay, knowing what's on the test is half the battle, but preparing for it, that's the other half. The good news is, NVIDIA doesn't just leave you hanging. They lay out a pretty clear path to get you ready. You've basically got 2 main routes you can take, and each one has its pros and cons. Self-paced training is awesome for flexibility. You learn on your own time, and it's cheaper. It's great for getting the foundations down. On the flip side, the instructor-led workshops are more of an investment, but you get a really deep, interactive experience with direct access to experts for all your questions. And here are the specific courses NVIDIA actually recommends. On the self-paced side, you've got building RAG agents and evaluating RAG systems. And if you want that deeper dive, the instructor-led workshops on building agentic AI applications and adding new knowledge to LLMs line up perfectly with those high-stakes exam topics we just talked about. All right, this is a really important gut check moment. You need to make sure this professional certification is actually the right fit for you. Remember, it's an intermediate credential. NVIDIA also has an entry-level associate certification for people who are a little earlier in their journey. And the difference here is crystal clear. The associate level is for folks who have a solid, basic understanding of generative AI. The professional level, the one we've been focused on, is for practitioners who have been in the trenches with real, hands-on, production-level experience. Picking the right one is just about being honest about where you are right now in your career. At the end of the day, that's what this is all about, right? Getting certified isn't just about passing a test.
It's about signaling your expertise to the entire industry and taking a real, tangible step forward in your professional life. So, we'll leave you with this to think about. Once you've got this credential, what's the first big problem you're going to tackle? Are you going to build an agent that completely revamps your company's logistics? One that creates an unbelievably personal customer experience? Something totally new? The possibilities are really just starting to open up.